It's our last segment of the show this Friday, and we're about to give you a take-home gift. It's all about water. You recall that fella song? Water. Okay, it has no enemy. We're about to find out if water really is friend or enemy. There seems to be some changes from the social reality, especially in Nigeria. I remember when I was in primary school, it used to be ice water. You recall those kind of water they pour inside the transparent nylon, and then they put it in the freezer and you take it. I mean, I personally took that water for a long time before we also started talking about pure waters and sachet, and then there are now bottled water. Now I have my colleague join me on the show this morning, Sabina Izoko. She's a business personality, but one thing you don't know about Sabina also is that she studied chemistry in school. Sabina, tell me about what kind of water you drink. Pure water? Table water?
You really want to know?
Exactly, because
I
you know, let me
water,
just
not because of anything. I'm not trying to bring in prestige or anything here or high class. I drink bottled water because I've been once infected by sachet water and tap water. I had typhoid fever, so I decided to stick strictly to bottled water, so I know where my problems come from.
But what's the thing about the sachet water? Is
now,
it about the
water,
content of the water?
You know how it is now.
Or the sachet itself that contaminates the water?
No, it's not the sachet that contaminates the water. It's the water itself. If it's not properly treated, that's a problem. And then the second thing again, outside the body of the sachet, you know, different hands touching it, and then having to drop it on the floor and all that. And if you know, when water stays too long on ground, it has its own taste. It has kind of like sour taste. It goes bad, and water is not meant to have a sour taste or a bad taste. Okay. And it should be clear. Okay. That's another thing. And then I have a problem with sachet water. You know, it's not environmental friendly. Okay. And due to economic, should I say, economically, well, it's cheap, 5 naira, 10 naira, but that's not the point. Having to dispose sachet water all over the road and having to clear them up again, it's another problem. Time wasted, effort wasted, and then 3, economically, it will not be wise for you to use how do I say, the conservative will say, use sugar to eat up the nylon bag so that it disposes easily. Who would do that?
But could it also just be that it's just a social class thing? Because
I wouldn't say it's a social class thing.
How do you now know that the bottled water you're drinking is
hygienic for you? First of all, I've tasted different kinds of water. I've tested water as well.
Irrespective of the brand?
Yeah, it has its own physical parameters that you have to, to test. You have to undergo, apart from microbiology test, which has got to do with the germs and bacteria and all that. That's a different thing. So I'm sure our chemists will be able to tell us more. And then thirdly, the physical parameters, it must be colorless, odorless, and tasteless. That's the basic thing. But they say water has taste, depending on the taste. And you have different kinds of water. You have natural water, you have pure water, you've got mineral water. So it all depends. Like they say, water has taste. But if water has taste to me,
it's not pure.
It's not.
I stumbled on a fact on the internet also that talks about pure and natural water. And the concept is that pure and natural don't really mean the same thing.
No, they
now,
don't.
This document says pure water is a kind of theoretical concept. It means water that has nothing except from hydrogen and oxygen from the H2O. Absolutely, they say pure water doesn't really exist in nature. But let's bring in a water specialist here. So we're going to do the questioning together and find out for ourselves, you know, what exactly water is all about. It's weekend. I understand you'll be going for a lot of parties, and then they'll serve you sachet water, they'll serve you table water. You want to find out the content of what you're drinking. We're joined now on set by IKHINA ABDUL. Is representing Lasena Waters. Good morning, and thank you for finding time to join us today.
Thank you for having me.
All right, you heard the gist. Where do we get pure and natural water? Some say pure, as a matter of fact, doesn't exist. What are your thoughts along that line?
Well, thank you. You see, in this part of the world, we have like taking whatever that is pure as clean. Okay. But you know, it is our belief that once the water has no particle, is glittering, it's pure. But really, pure water is not clean water. You understand? Now, if for you to certify that water is pure, it must go through some kind of test to really ascertain the pureness of that water. But but at Lasena, we don't do pure water, we don't do clean water, but we do natural water that is coming from an artesian well. And this artesian well, the water that comes out from it is water in its natural state. Now, our people will say, look, the definition, the known definition of water is water does not have taste, it doesn't have odor, to be clean and all that. Now,
and colorless.
Really, that is the definition of what is assumed to be clean water to drink in this environment. But if you move further, if you tell somebody that kind of story, will tell you, how do you mean? Like, for those who are used to natural mineral water, because we actually have water, we have mineral water, though mineral water is not easy to come by, because mineral water only comes from an aquifer. It can either come from an aquifer or a fountain. Like in Nigeria here, you have the Kogosi warm spring. That is a mineral water.
Is that edible or potable, so to speak?
Well, because ordinarily, where it's coming from is good to drink, it's clean to drink, you can call it mineral. Because it's a fountain, it flows along the rock and all that. Along the line, contaminants will come in touch. And before you know it, you cannot wholeheartedly say, look, that water is so pure and it's so clean.
That's exactly what Sabina was trying to talk about when she made mention of sachet water and then, the touch and all of that. But then you talked about artesian water.
Artesian water, yes.
What is artesian water?
Fantastic. Now, because of time, we'll have to like try and mesh things, well, maybe subsequently. Now, artesian water comes from a well. And this well is sitting on top of an aquifer. An aquifer is a reservoir of water under the ground. Now, this water actually is inside the stone. This reservoir we're talking about is a stone, a rocky stone. And an artesian well allowed its water to rise to the surface without being aided, without any mechanical addition. Now, at the end of the day, the water you have inside this artesian well always comes out to be a mineral water. And after subjecting this water into test, you discover there are minerals inherent in this water that is naturally heals the body. Now, the Lasena artesian well is second in Africa after the Namibian well. And the Namibian well was the first to be discovered in Africa.
And they call that saline water.
Saline water, fantastic. Now, it's not good for consumption, and the Namibia government is actually using it for irrigation.
But with these minerals you talked about, that makes Lasena water not pure, so to speak.
No.
If it has minerals in it. Because they say pure water is supposed to be hydrogen and oxygen. Shikina.
Fantastic. Now, the definition we have here has to do with our cultural environment. Now, the best water in the whole world is mineral water. Now, dating back to 400 BC, the story in the Bible, the Hagar, the Ishmael. Now, God caused water to come out from the desert, and today that water still exists. It's the Zamzam water. Our Muslim brother goes to Saudi Arabia, they rush for it and all that. One thing is clear, to those people that are on pilgrimage believe it is through faith this water they drink will heal them. But you know what? That is the first mineral water.
I see.
The first mineral water in the whole world. After that, we now have the first well that is sitting on top of an aquifer. The reason that well today is called an artesian well is because the first place that well was discovered was in Artios in France. Artios is a small community in France. Now, this community was visited by Catholic missionaries and in their normal characteristic manner, they decided to seek a borehole to take care of water they drink and all that. Now, having sunk pipes into the earth, they struck a stone, as at that point it was just a stone, and that allows this water to rise up to the surface. It was later after tests, they discovered, oh, this is a mineral water. Why people were taking it, they were healing.
Okay, that's where the name artesium came from.
Now, that was why the artesian water was coined from that village named Artios.
Okay.
And over the years, any well that was discovered is named that well because
I understand.
The first one. Now, in this water, you have a whole lot of minerals in it that as soon as you start taking it detoxifies your system. This water detoxifies your system because it is natural. That is water in its natural state. Now, what we have today, because over time, contaminants have come across our water, we just have to purify this water. And that is why Lasena has 2 licenses from NAFDAC to bottle mineral water and produce still water.
Just a minute before you go ahead.
Yes.
Sabina, I'm wondering if you trust these minerals enough to drink them.
Well, mineral is natural. It's in its natural state, right from the ground. It is. I have no problem with that. It's good water. But why you saw me looking at it was, how natural is your water? One, you know, everybody wants to sell markets. Everybody is trying to boost his own name and all that. So I want you to tell the audience between natural water, pure water, and mineral water.
Because when you say natural too,
Lasena's water is so significant away from
because definitely there's a process that brings the water out of the ground. There's a pipe that brings water out of the ground. There's a process that bottles the water, and there are no chances of contamination all through the bottling and the transportation processes.
Now, fantastic questions. Now, the issue is this. First of all, we need to know that a water that is coming from an aquifer. Now, the Lasena well is 522 meters deep. Now, it's coming from that depth, and it's coming at the minimum temperature of 70 degrees centigrade. Minimum.
To kill the germs?
Of course. Microbes can come close to that.
70 degrees?
70 degrees centigrade. That is the minimum. It can rise to 90.
Minimum. Okay, for that, minimum, not required.
Yes. Minimum. It can rise to 90. Now, if this water is coming out, you can't dip your hand and put it right there because obviously it will cause you some kind of damage to the skin. Now, having subjected this water into different tests around the world, the first one was the University of UI, the pharmaceutical department there. They were the one that first raised this alarm that this water has some materials that can cure peptic ulcer. Because when this water was discovered, this well was discovered, we didn't really know what we had. Until tests was carried out on this water, and professionals were coming in to say, look, this is a natural alkaline water that has 7.78 pH. Come on. That was when people started looking. Let me even check. Let me drink this water and see how it is.
What exactly are the constituent minerals of this water? Have you been able to identify them and put a name to them?
Yes, well, of course. We have well. Now, when you talk about natural mineral water, every natural mineral water has some significant mineral, like the bicarbonate, the silicon, the magnesium, and that is to say, facts. Lasena water is the only water in the whole world that has copper, 0.02.
You added oil comes with it.
It comes with it. No, nothing is added to Lasena. Nothing is added.
It's the only water that comes with copper.
Copper.
So how many?
Natural. Natural copper. Natural copper.
So now, there are no additives to
no
it?
additive. We don't. Now, let me even tell you how the process, how you get to this bottle. Now, everything you have here has no chemical. Everything you have here.
Go ahead, please.
Everything you have here has no chemical. Now, as the water is coming out, it's going into a tank.
Okay.
That tank allows it to calm down. 3 days, 96 hours. This water is allowed to calm down.
Is there any fractional distillation, the process in which it comes down?
Yes. Now, if it goes into that tank, now it moves to the next stage of sieving. Because there are total dissolved solid in this water, we have to sieve some solids that are not dissolved enough. Now we sieve it. It moves straight to the factory.
What are these solids that you're talking about?
Now, in every mineral water, there are what you call total dissolved solids. These are mineral composition gotten from this mineral.
And they do not have the capacity to contaminate the water.
No. They come with the mineral right inside the aquifer.
Okay.
Now, it may interest you to know that the Lasana well is sitting on top of 16 clay formations. Naturally, clay is the best sieve in the whole world. Now, the Lasana well is sitting on top of 16 clay formations. Now, an aquifer is like it goes round. It does not just sit in one place. It runs through the earth. And for the fact that Lasana is right here does not mean if you dig 600 meters you will find an aquifer. No. It takes God's grace to locate an aquifer.
Just a minute. Let's take a break here.
All right.
And we'll be back in a jiffy and find out why Lasana is not, as it is now, a museum attraction to the world. We'll take a break and we'll be back. Stick around. Don't go away.
You can now watch Core TV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to Core TV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click Core TV, leave a space, then News. Core TV News, a 24-hour news station.
It's another beautiful and exciting moment.
Welcome to Political Arena, the most detailed and incisive political show.
You will see all sorts of politicians, even those who cannot manage their homes. We tell you to let them manage your lives. Look well, shine your eyes.
So stomach infrastructure is a way of life. Even if I cannot do anything, and I continue to help your stomach so that your life will keep on going. Stomach infrastructure is a way of life for me.
I should ask you, what is going right in this country? Is it education? Is it security? Infrastructure? Is it healthcare? What is going right? Absolutely nothing.
We mean to win Lagos. PDP is going to win Lagos in 2015.
INEC has colluded with the presidency, the opposing party, to rig this election from the data to the end.
The 2015 general elections must be the best.
The good, bad, ugly, and beautiful sides of the Nigerian political system. Join me every Sunday at 9:15 p.m. on Core TV News.
Welcome back. If you just joined us, you've missed a lot. You might have to watch a repeat program to find out what we've been talking about water. Lasana representative is still right here with us. I'm wondering, how come this Lasana well, you said it's the second in Africa?
Yes.
After Namibia?
After Namibia.
How come it's now a tourist center already?
Well, I can tell you, we'll be having people coming around. We'll be having, like, yesterday I took in some schools from Lekki. I can tell you, people are coming all over Nigeria. We've had people come from Australia. We have people came in from Saudi Arabia. As a matter of fact, the Saudi Arabian man, when he saw Lasana, it was like, really? is this rich, why not export it to our country? And I can tell you, as a matter of fact, there are modalities in place to export this water. These are foreigners that came in. They were like, wow, you mean something like this could be in Nigeria?
What's the process of extraction? Do you mechanically pump the water out of the ground?
That is exactly.
Or it comes out naturally?
That's exactly what I told you. An artesian well should naturally rise to the surface.
So your water naturally rises?
Naturally rise to the surface. Let me blow your mind. It does not just rise to the surface. We have a flow rate of 80,000 liters per hour.
How do you contain the water?
Now, you know, an aquifer is like a bean. If you close your mouth, your nose, you could suffocate.
Okay.
Now, what happened is this. That aquifer is right there, in between clay formation. Now, 16 clay formation on top. There is another clay formation. Now, clay is very heavy. Pressing it together. Now, if you have a little hole on a pressured stuff, before you know it, if you put a little hole, it will pressure it out.
Okay.
Now, that is what is happening to the Lasena aquifer. Now, the pressure on top of it, as soon as we were able, by God's grace, discover that when they pierce the stone, the pressure, the clay, because it's at the middle of clay formations,
okay,
the pressure is bringing it out. And that pressure is the highest in the world. Facts. Because if, as it's coming out, the flow rate is, like I said, 80,000 liters per hour. That is enough to take the whole community. Now, what do? We are currently having what you call in Niger Delta gas flaring, water flaring, because we had to, because we can't just use all the water. Okay. We have to allow it to flow out. That is the fountain. If you come to our side, you see the fountain. We allow it to go out because the aquifer has to breathe.
Okay, so you have a fountain that comes out almost every hour.
Naturally, since 2009, that fountain has been there.
I'm wondering, how do you contain so much water that pumps out every day?
Good. Now, we take for production.
Okay.
And the one that is coming out goes to the ground.
It's all right. Let's quickly find out.
Yes, it is a waste. That's what I'm telling you. We are doing what we can call water flaring just right now.
But the Italians will tell you it's a waste and you need to conserve that part.
That is what we are trying to do.
So what are you doing to conserve the part? That's, like I said, it's a waste.
The only way to cut that waste is to produce at 80,000 liters per hour. That capacity is what we are building. We will get there.
It's all right. Let's quickly. You came with some bottles. Let me quickly find out what you would love to demonstrate with those bottles.
Every water we see falls under 8 color formation. Every water you see. Now there is what you call pH indicator. Now this pH, if you drop a liquid or two in a water, it will come out with some colors.
Okay.
And that color will enable you to know if that water is toxic, if it's acidic, if it is pure for drinking. Now, anyone you test, you are not supposed, because this is a chemical.
Okay.
Okay. Now, what I will do now is we've been able to get some brands so that we'll test them. That is, by the time we put indicator, you'll be able to know, okay, if this water is cool or not.
What color determines whether it's toxic?
Now, the best water comes in blue color. As you can see, I'm on blue. And once it's blue, that water is very pure. However, there are chemical formation you can use to get your blue water, like the caustic soda.
Okay.
Now, the difference is that after some time, if it is not natural, that blue will fade off.
Okay.
That is the difference. But I can tell you, because Lasena is natural, nothing added, there is no chemical, it will remain blue for life.
What's the color for toxic water?
Now, we have different type of colors. Like We have the orange, we have the red, we have the purple, we have the light purple. These are all toxic. The green is a little bit cool. That is because the pH indicator is between 0 and 14.
Okay.
Now, the color determines.
Can you quickly demonstrate that so that we can see?
Maybe subsequently we'll talk about
What's the name of the indicator you want to use?
Yes, the indicator hot surge. It's called hot surge. You can get it anywhere.
What's the color of the indicator itself? Looks like red?
No, not really. It's a chemical.
Okay.
Now, it is this chemical. If you drop it on any water, the chemical composition of that water will bring out the color.
I see.
And the level of the pH of that water. I'll just drop.
Sorry, if I may ask this question.
This particular water, you can just go ahead, demonstrating why she's asking.
I'm listening.
Okay, you said it's the pH is from 0 to 14.
Yes, 0 to 14.
You have the green one, and then you have the blue one.
Yes.
Okay, so if it's green, is it totally bad?
Yes, if it's green, it will have a pH of. Now this is Lasena. I'm just opening it right here. Now, Lasena has 2 brands of water, like I said. We are the only organization NAFDAC have licensed to bottle the mineral water and produce still water. We have to take our table water through reverse osmosis, actually removing the mineral.
Do they taste differently?
They taste differently.
The mineral water does it have taste, unlike what is acceptable of a pure water?
Yes. Now, when it comes to taste, it has to do with our taste bud.
I see.
Over time, it has been chlorinated water. We are used to it. So if we taste anything that is not chlorinated, you'll say, this is well water. In local parlance, you say, oh boy, I don't give us well water drink. But anybody that knows mineral water, if you taste it, you will know that, okay, this is a mineral water. Like I was telling a friend.
Well, my question hasn't been answered.
Okay.
Between the green and the blue, what's the difference?
Okay. The green and the blue tells you the pH level.
Okay.
The pH level, because the green, like I have here, is 6 to 7.
Okay.
That is the pH level. And the blue is between 7.10 to 7.50.
What range is actually edible and healthy?
Now, the green is cool.
Okay.
But the blue is better.
Is it most acceptable?
Most acceptable.
You want to test it quickly because I want to find out what color your Lasena water will bring out. I'm afraid it will bring out red.
Let's see.
It's all right. But you label them. Which one?
Yes.
Can you tell us about the labeling as well so that we can...
How many drops?
2.
Each?
Okay, yes.
2 each.
Okay, we can see one of them turning green.
Yes, if you can see, the color is the chemical reaction. You see, anybody could say that, okay, maybe the one in Lasena, the water is so much and all that, but it does not really matter.
Can you also explain the labels on this bottle? I can see P.
Well, for we just took the brands.
Okay.
We just took the brand and we try to make sure we have different water.
Okay, let's have a look at this. This is P. What does that mean?
This is P.
Is it
just a brand of water? I see.
Well, you can call it pure water.
Okay.
You can call it.
What about that one?
You can. This is a well water.
Okay.
Obviously, you can see some. Obviously, it's not. Don't even go there, please. I need people alive.
Drink
please.
that water.
And what is that? What's on that label? Okay, another brand of water. Another brand of water.
Another brand of water.
Okay.
These are all brands of water. The one we drink. And
what's that? Sachet water? What's that?
Yes. This is one of the sachet water we just got down the street there.
Okay.
Now you will discover that you can easily see this. Okay. You can easily see this. Now, like we said, the color determines the pH level of this water.
Okay.
Now, the blue is the real, and that is the higher the pH, the better for you.
What range is blue?
Blue is between 7.10 and 8.50.
We have to wrap up the show now, and I'm sure that you're going to come again. But can you give me your indicator so that when next I buy water, I can test it?
Well, if I go and do any other awareness, that means I will have to start sharing it.
You should have a lot of that so that I can buy different types of pure water and say, yes, let me know. If it turns red, I'll collect my money back. Thank you very much for joining us today. Representative from Lasena. I'm sure that you'll also find time to join us subsequently. Well, that is on the show today. Big thank you to the production crew. Sabina, thank you very much for joining us as well. I am Nifemi Oguntoye. Watching the program again, 12 midnight. You can also watch the YouTube version. It's www.youtube.com/CoreTV, /space and news. Stick around for the top of the hour news.
You can now watch Core TV News live from anywhere in the world on our website, www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to Core TV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click Core TV, leave a space, then news. Core TV News, a 24-hour news station.